Through an entrepreneur, Taarini Dang. Now, as a 14-year-old, I've got to ask you, and I really want you to break this down for everyone. You've accomplished so much at such a young age. What is your secret, sauce that you're putting in your cereal? Or, how do you manage everything with school and essentially work? And then also, I imagine, personal projects, family, God forbid you like to sleep, right? Break that down for everyone.
So, I think, like people say, like my mom always said, when there's a will, there is a way. Mm-hmm. So it's a game of time management. This is what I've said in different interviews. It's a game of time management. You have to manage your time to focus on what's important at the moment. For example, this week I can't really do that many. This week I won't be doing any more interviews or anything. And that's obviously more important at the moment. Then in the summer, I will focus a little bit less on the schoolwork and more on the interviews and more on making myself, making Dang capital and, making it better, fixing things, working hard on it. So it's a game of time management. And to keep your mental, sanity, you should take a break also once in a while. Take a break, tell yourself, watch TV, spend time with your family, and, have a good time also, because this is childhood at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I agree. Listen, I mean, that's great advice for someone who's 5 or 55 or 85, right? That you have to manage your time and you have to prioritize, which I think, honestly, as an entrepreneur myself, I think you learn what's more important along the way, which is interesting, right? And even when you start your business, things change, right? Things evolve. And so being flexible as well and being open to kind of following along the journey and maybe you have to pivot and shift, but really great advice. What would you say are some entrepreneurs that you personally look up to that help you stay motivated and activated?
Well, entrepreneurs that I've seen were like Steve Jobs. Mm-hmm. Steve Jobs and Mark Zuckerberg, of course. Steve Jobs and Bill Gates, all three of them, actually. Mm-hmm. Steve Jobs, a quote that he said was, the only people who think that they are crazy enough to change the world are the only ones that do. Yes. That's the quote I kept on telling myself whenever I thought anyone around me thought I'm not changing the world, thought I was crazy. Mm-hmm. I used to whisper to myself, the only people that think that they are crazy enough to change the world are the only ones who do.
Absolutely.
If you tell a quote like that every day to yourself in the mirror, you will feel more confident about yourself for the rest of the day. Absolutely. And that's what I've been doing. I've been posting quotes on Classy Women, as we know. Mm-hmm,
mm-hmm. No, absolutely. I'm a big fan of affirmations as well. I think you have to speak into existence what you want, right? And it's really easy to get caught up in emotions and feelings. But, we as people control what we're thinking, what we're saying, what we're feeling, and what we're doing, essentially. And so affirmations are wonderful morning, afternoon, evening exercise to kind of get a little bit control of the craziness that sometimes goes on in our heads. Yeah. What are some resources that you are currently using for your own growth and development?
Sorry, so by resources you mean?
It could be books, it could be podcasts, it could be events, conferences. What are things that are, because as an entrepreneur, right, there's still things you have to learn, right? And so what are the biggest resources that have been helping you so far outside of, the stuff that you're doing with the VC firm?
Yeah, I've been going to many conferences because, like I said, the VC network works on the VC network works on connections. Mm-hmm. So it's just, if you don't go to conferences, if you don't meet people, you won't find the right person to connect with. Mm. So that's an advice I would give to any entrepreneur or venture capitalist. Meet people, because I know for someone who was shy of the public, meet people. It's best for you.
Absolutely. I love it. I think, for me, my personal life motto that I share on my own platform is learn something new every single day and meet someone new every day, right? Because I think you can no one's lived their life saying, oh, I knew too much, or, oh, I met too many people, right? No one's going to say that.
Say that.
It's always the
That's
opposite, right? That like you haven't met enough
right.
people, you haven't learned enough. So I love that. And what would you say is like what's next for you? Like in the next, I mean, which is funny because you're so young, but in the next, like before you go off to college, what do you envision happening in your life?
I envision writing more books. I envision making more investments in Dang. I'm envisioning making my first investment and then much more investments in Dang Capital and women in tech and youth. And I envision in the next 10 years that the whole idea of women in tech is not just a hashtag, but it's a real thing in real life.
Absolutely. And what are your thoughts with that movement of putting more girls in STEM and having more visibility of women in tech?
So I think it's all about the mindset. Because I know the people around you have probably pressurized girls to think that they can't do women in tech. They can't be tech people. For example, my robotics team, it still has very few girls, and the girls that are there are absolutely clueless on what's going on. Yeah, and I think it's because, for example, I think it's because people around us, we think, girls especially, I've seen this more prominent in girls, they think it's more important to look a certain way, to be popular, to be models, than to be like educated, women in tech. Like it's all about the mindset. If you tell yourself that, hey, you can also do this, you don't always have to be a model, or you could be a model and this. If you tell yourself that, then I think you'll rock the world.
Absolutely. And what I would add to that is, to be honest, is so much of life is representation, right? So when you say we see like people have this certain image of what a entrepreneur looks like, it's because that's what's being pumped down media, right? That's what's being shown on television. So it's, For
example, there's this Bollywood movie called Dil Dharakne Do. It shows Aisha Mehra, who is Priyanka Chopra. She's an entrepreneur in there. She's a successful entrepreneur in there, and she looks like Priyanka Chopra.
Okay.
She is Priyanka Chopra. And Priyanka Chopra, for those of you who don't know, you can search her up on Instagram. She's a very famous actress. She's in Quantico also. If you see that movie, Dil Dharakne Do, she is an entrepreneur, but she looks like a model.
Gotcha.
And I think it's because media, like you said, TV shows, etc., have depicted women entrepreneurs in such a way that it seems that you have to look like that to be an entrepreneur. Well, let me break it to you. You don't have to look like that to be an entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
You can be whatever you want, look whatever you want, feel confident, comfortable, independent in yourself.
Absolutely. You are listening to Our Voices on the voice of Nassau Community College 90.3 WHPC. My name is Natasha Nurse, and my guest today is author and entrepreneur Taarini Dang. So, oh my gosh, I feel like there's not enough time that I could have with you, but I know you're a busy student. So what I'd like to do is just for everyone to kind of get to learn a little bit more about you. And with that is rapid fire questions. So I hope you're ready to answer them honestly, but also very quickly. So number one place that you want to visit in the world.
Some place that I really want to visit that I haven't is Afghanistan and, Pakistan, because I really want to help more girls there, because I get messages from these countries every day at Classy Women, and I don't know what to say to them. Obviously, it's not one of the safest things to do, but maybe when I grow up, something that I want to do when I grow up is go there and try my best to open a domestic violence center there, or an education center there, or school or something.
Absolutely. And since we also did mention a little bit of TV and media, what's a show that you're currently watching and can't get enough of?
Well, right now I'm a Bollywood fan. I'm a Bollywood fan. I'm not watching. I just watch movies. My favorite Bollywood movie is Neerja, Neerja. It's on Netflix, I believe.
Okay.
Dangal, also on Netflix, Dangal. I like Dil Dharakne Do. It was a good movie. I just didn't like that Priyanka Chopra was shown as an entrepreneur like that way.
Gotcha.
But other than that, the movie is really nice. Yeah.
Okay. And what's a book that you're reading right now that you love?
Ask Outrageously by Linda Swindling.
What is that book about?
It's about asking questions. It's about believing in yourself. And I just love that book. I'm actually currently reading it, yeah.
Okay. And if you have one, a favorite song?
Favorite song at this moment? I have songs that are catchy, but a song with meaning would be like the fight song, This Is My Fight song. Yeah, that one song. I like Look What You Made Me Do, strong. I like songs. Something that I've seen is that if you change your song diet to like independent songs, like instead of listening to songs that are coming on the radio like Havana or like, like, because they're all showing women in a certain way, instead of listening to such songs, if you start listening to songs that, like Look What You Made Me Do, that show a strong lead, show something that you can break the barriers and you can like do whatever you want. If you listen to such songs, your thinking will change.
Absolutely, because it's about what we consume, right? And those songs have messages. And listen, I'm not going to lie, I like trap music, but it's awful, right? And it's not good messaging for women. It's not good messaging for women of color. So
I do too.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to lie, I love Bollywood music, and a lot of those songs are. To translate them, they show women in a certain way. And obviously, they're very catchy. It's good to have fun. But I'm trying my best to stay away from those songs.
Very inspiring. Okay. What has been the best advice someone has ever told you and why?
So I think one day I was like very sad about myself. I was angry at the way I looked at myself because I wasn't like society's definition of beautiful. And then I think my best friend told me bold is beautiful. Be fearless, bold, and that's what makes you beautiful.
Absolutely. Listen, you are so talented and so amazing at such a young age. And you know what I do want to tell you is, if I could tell my 14-year-old self, is that it gets better. I think when we're younger, there's such like an intense feeling of wanting to be accepted and wanting your peers to be on the journey with you and be the rah people you need. But guess what? That's not what life's about. And it feels that way. I feel like it's more intense when we're younger. But the more that you can know and validate yourself at this age, I'm telling you, like, you will be miles ahead of everyone else as you get older. But I get the feeling, and I totally understand. It's rough. It's totally rough. I remember 14. It was not easy. But the more you stop caring, the more that you start saying, why whatever you love is because you love, then that's where you find even more empowerment. And that's where you're like, yes. This is my life, and I love every part of it, even the hard parts. And I guess, I guess what I'd love to do is just one last question, which is, if people want to get in touch with you, if they want to learn a little bit more about your journey and how they can help you, what's the best place that they can reach you at?
I would say Instagram. My Instagram is TAARINI_DANG, Taarini _Dang. I'll repeat, TAARINI_DANG.
Perfect. Thank you, Taarini, for coming on to Our Voices. It's
a pleasure.
Yes.
Thank you for interviewing. Really, it means a lot.
Absolutely.
And good luck on this. It's really nice that you're doing this.
Thank you so much. I know that our audience found you both as informative and inspiring as I did. My name is Natasha Nurse. I'm the proud host of Our Voices here on 90.3 WHPC. Our show's creative director is Rudy J. Breedy. Visit nccradio.org. That's www.nccradio.org for more information. This will be available as a podcast on iTunes, Android Podcasts, and Spreaker. Our Voices is powered by the Nassau Community College Foundation on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. Have a great day, and we'll see you soon.